Eyes closed, mouth bloody, drained and dejected. Deontay Wilder had been outclassed and battered over 6 rounds by the Gypsy King Tyson Fury in their highly anticipated rematch. This wasn't the way it was supposed to go for the man with boxing's most feared punch. 14 months after he came seconds away from knocking out Fury with a thunderbolt of a right hand. With the perfect antidote of size, skill, and ring IQ, and a renewed game plan to pressure and smother the pure puncher in Wilder, Fury proved nearly every prognosticator wrong. Dead wrong. And now Wilder wants to run it back, immediately exercising his rematch clause. The decision isn't surprising so much as foolish. And while there's no immediately bigger payday for the now ex-champ, there's no reason to think Fury won't whitewash him again and do more permanent damage to Wilder's standing in the sport of boxing. Wilder couldn't come with the excuses fast enough. There's a sore loser, and then there's blaming the weight of a costume he himself chose to wear for his ring walk. With all due respect to Wilder, and all professional fighters deserve a hell of a lot of it, logic dictates his wobbly legs had more to do with an overhand right to the temple.
He puts him down! Fury scores the knockdown in round number 3!
From that moment in round 3 on, Wilder never had his legs beneath him.
His legs look weak, he looks unsteady, but he's still dangerous. We can't forget that point.
Wilder also assigned blame to referee Kenny Bayless, alleging he allowed Fury to get away with illegal punches to the back of his head. And the most laughable of all finger-pointing was directed toward assistant trainer Mark Breland, who mercifully threw in the towel. Many would argue around too late. Wilder also suggested Breland was influenced to stop the fight by another boxer seated near his corner who shares Fury's new head trainer, Javon Sugar Hill.
Mark threw the towel. I didn't think he should have. Deontay's the kind of guy that's a go out on his shield kind of guy, and he will tell you straight up, don't throw the towel in.
In truth, Breland's towel might be the only reason the trilogy fight is still sellable. Pure punchers of Wilder's caliber are never truly out of fights, and Lord knows he'll claim he would have landed that moneymaker at some point. The promoters at least have that narrative to work with in building hype for Fight 3. In March 2018, Wilder did manage to survive a near 7th round knockout against Luis Ortiz.
And Ortiz, I think he has Wilder hurt. Wilder may be hurt. And now Ortiz on the offensive.
Ultimately battling back to KO the tough Cuban in the 10th.
Ortiz hurt, hear the barrage of punches, and then wait on the uppercut, the right uppercut. Boom! That was the punch that decapitated Luis Ortiz.
But to play devil's advocate, Wilder's team can argue that even with a 60-40 split in Fury's favor, delaying a 3rd fight is too risky financially. Wilder was guaranteed $25 million for the rematch, plus a percentage of pay-per-view buys, which reportedly underwhelmed due to a glut of illegal streams. That kind of money isn't immediately available against anyone else. What's more, Fury claims he'll take a hard look at retiring after 2 more fights, so maybe it's truly now or never for Wilder to cash in. And don't discount ego either, as evidenced by Wilder's haunting "I am a warrior" speech.
I will rise again. I am strong. I am a king. They can't take my pride. I am a warrior.
The Deontay Wilder story is truly inspiring. A 19-year-old ex-basketball player driving a beer truck takes up boxing out of financial desperation for his family and, within 3 years, medals at the Beijing Olympics. Behind his all-time right hand, he earns a share of the heavyweight title in 2015 and equals Muhammad Ali's mark of 10 consecutive heavyweight title defenses. But for all he has working in his favor, height, reach, athleticism, unteachable power, he's pretty close to a one-dimensional fighter, over-reliant on landing his sweeping overhand right and his opponents fearing it.
That left hand was blocked.
That's what I was waiting for.
Fury's reclamation story is even more remarkable. After pulling the upset against long-reigning heavyweight champion Vladimir Klitschko in 2015, Fury was shelved for 2.5 years due to mental health issues and drug and alcohol abuse. He ballooned from 260 pounds to nearly 400. After only 2 tune-up fights, Fury and Wilder met in December 2018 And despite that aforementioned near knockout, Fury held the upper hand over long stretches of the fight, frustrating Wilder with his elusiveness and a refusal to remain a stationary target.
Big right hand. There's a big right hand that barely missed Fury.
While scored a draw, Fury left the ring that night with a blueprint for the rematch. And what's more, he'd survived Wilder's best punch.
There, bang, bang. Put on a good fight and entertain the crowd. That's what we get paid to do.
As the bigger and more technically sound of the two, Fury knew he could flip the script on Wilder and become the aggressor.
Fury coming forward!
Unlike Fury did after their first fight, Wilder has no intentions of switching from head trainer Jay Diaz, who apparently didn't want to throw in the towel, inconceivably believing his fighter could still turn the fight around. It's hard to believe it would matter though, with a listless Wilder slumped on his stool heading into what would prove to be the final round. Diaz could be heard imploring Wilder to do the one thing, the only thing he could do to get back into the fight. Back him up and throw the right hand. But Fury ultimately wouldn't back up, and won't in July when they're set to meet again.
Not bad for an old fat guy who can't punch, eh? Done all right, didn't I?
Thanks for watching. If you like this video and want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button.